everyone, this is Mary. You're in Mary Reads. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to talk about the books that I really want to read, that I'm interested in, but that I'm very scared of reading. There are different reasons. Mostly it's volume, but some of them is my fear of not having enough context, my fear of the story being too big and massive and having too many characters. So I just wanted to kind of share the books that I'm scared of, see what books you are maybe scared of. And hopefully I'm thinking that if I talk about my fears, they'll become smaller and I'll read at least some of these books. I do want to try reading at least 3 of them this year. They are in my plans, but we'll see how it goes. I had some of them in my to be read forgotten TBR jar, but I still, even when I picked them up, I couldn't read them. So hopefully this video is gonna help me get myself together and start reading these books. And if you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel. I'm always very happy to see new people and it helps me a lot. And the first book is The Second Sex by Simone de Beauvoir. And I've wanted to read this book for about 4 years. I first saw it in the bookstore and I was like, okay, maybe later. Sounds very interesting, but maybe later. And then I moved in with my, then boyfriend, my future husband, and he had this book. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so great. I don't need to buy it anymore. And it's still here and I haven't read it yet. So this book tells about the Western understanding of what a woman is, the exploration of inequality and women's otherness. And I'm very, very interested in what Simone de Beauvoir has to say. It sounds like a super interesting book, a super interesting work, but it's so hard for me to understand philosophy. And I have a feeling that we'll touch a lot on philosophy in this book. And I'm very scared that I'm not going to understand. Again, English is not my first language, and it's sometimes hard to read philosophy in your native language. And then when it's translated, it's even harder. And my English is pretty good. I've been living in the US for more than 5 years now, but that's still something that scares me. And I can't bring myself to reading this book, even though I really want to. I want to so much. I'm holding this book and I'm thinking like I need to start this book right now. But again, it scares me. I can't take it yet. And the next book is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. And here I don't even have a logical explanation of why I haven't taken this book yet, why I'm scared of it. This is the winner of the Pulitzer Prize and I loved Donna Tartt's The Secret History. So I don't understand what it is. I don't think it's volume because Donna Tartt's Secret History was about the same size. I don't know if it's plot. Plot sounds super interesting to me. Maybe it's because some people said that they didn't like the book and I'm just scared of making my opinion of the author worse than it is now. I'm not entirely sure. Or I'm worried that the book is going to be slow. My dad said that he started it and it was very slow. Maybe that's why. I can't tell. I'm really hoping to read this book this year, and this is one of the books that I've already gotten in my TBR jar, but I never read it still. So I'm really, really hoping that this year I'll bring myself to finally reading the book. And the next book is Edward Rutherford's Russka, and here the reason is pretty obvious. It's the volume. It's a 950-page book, and I'm terrified that I'm going to be stuck in it for a month or even 2 months. And it happens every time I take Edward Rutherford's books, because I've read his New York, I've read his Paris, loved the books, but every time I took the book, I was like, don't do this. You are going to be stuck in this book for a very long time, and you're not going to be able to read anything else. And even though the books are reading pretty easily, they are reading very, very fast. Still, I'm scared of this book. I'm scared of taking this book, and especially now when I'm trying to make content about books and I should read more than I usually do, and now I got this new job that also takes some time. So I don't even know when to take this book now. I'm scared of taking it, but I'm really excited about the book and I want to read it. So hopefully, again, like with the Goldfinch, I will be able to read it this year, or at least start it this year, because I'm actually very excited about the book. This book actually traveled with me so much. I think I bought it in 2019 in New York, and then I went back home. I left it there and then went back to New York, and then COVID happened. So I never went back home. So I asked my parents to mail this book to me, and here it is. It traveled like throughout the world, and still it hasn't been read. So I really need to change that. At this point, it's ridiculous. And the next book is The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. And Dostoevsky so tricky. I've read Dostoevsky the first time when I was 16. I read Crime and Punishment. This was a book we were reading for school, so I had to read it. I didn't have a choice. And I loved the way it was written. I can't deny the beautiful language. I can't deny the brilliant plot. But it brought me into such a deep depressive state. It was so dark. I couldn't read Dostoevsky since. And now I'm 24. It's been, 8 years. And I really want to read him. But then there is this small fear inside of me that's still there that tells me you are going to get back to this depressive state if you read anything by Dostoevsky. But at this point, it's ridiculous. How can I not read the author that I like so much just because I'm scared? I really am hoping to read this book this year. It is in my TBR. I haven't gotten it yet, but I know that 1 month I will, and I'm really trying to hold myself to it and actually reading the book. And the next book is actually not fiction, it's not philosophy, it's this separate genre. It's a study. It's a study of the strengths and weaknesses of political system in America. Political System of 1831 to be precise. It's written by Alexis de Tocqueville. He was a French aristocrat, and he traveled through Eastern America for 9 months, and whatever he learned, he put in this book. And again, here my fear is that I'm not going to understand, that I'm gonna just suffocate in the language that he used and in the terms and words that he used. And this book was recommended to me by my husband, and I'm very excited about reading it because I'm really interested. It's so interesting. It's actually interesting to compare because the author was a foreigner in America, and he kind of more or less objectively could talk about what he saw in the country. And as a foreigner myself, I'm just trying to see if I'm going to agree with the author, if I'm going to disagree with the author, if anything changed in almost 200 years, or it didn't, and some stuff is still the same, and we are facing the same issues. So I'm very interested. This book, I'm looking at it, and it's calling for me. But again, I'm just very scared of taking it just because I'm scared of not understanding. And the next book is Vanity Fair, and I have a feeling that my fear of reading this book in this particular case is connected to my hatred towards the edition I have it in. I talked about it before. It looks like a textbook. It's horrible. It's written like a textbook. The font looks like a textbook. I hate everything about it. I didn't realize that it was a self-publisher when I was buying it. So, yeah, I feel like this is the main reason. I think this is actually not just the main reason. I think it's the only reason why. And I'm really hoping to get through my hatred, my unhappiness about the edition, and actually read the book. If I don't like it, I can always give this away to the library. If I like it, I will buy it in a better edition. So I just need to get over it. And the next book, I don't have a physical copy of, but I've been dreaming about this book for so long. So every time I see it in a store, I'm thinking about buying it, but then I'm like, I don't know, it's more than 1,000 pages and I might not like it and I'm not sure. And the story is so long, so maybe there's gonna be a lot of characters and I'm just gonna get lost in them. And this book is It by Stephen King. I said before that I really want to read more Stephen King, to know what he writes, to know his style. I read some novels by him. I think I read like 2. I read The Green Mile and I read Carrie, which I'm not even sure is a novel. I think it might be a story. So I think these are not very good representations of Stephen King. The Green Mile is amazing. I loved it. Stephen King is genius for writing it. But I just feel like this is not really the genre I'm going for. I'm going for his horror novels. And Green Mile is more of like a psychological thriller. So I really want to know Stephen King more as a horror author. So It is on my list, but I'm so scared of not liking it. I'm so scared of the volume because I don't know how many characters there are going to be, if I'm going to get lost in it. And the story is covering a pretty long period of time from my understanding. So I really am not sure when to read this book, when is the best time to take it, how long it will take me to read it, and if I'm actually gonna like it, and if I don't like it, will I want to read Stephen King again? So I'm just in this weird state of mind where I can't tell if I should read this book. I really want to, but at the same time, I keep hearing this voice in my head that says, maybe not, maybe wait a little bit more. It's a little too much. So I'm still thinking about it, but I'm really hoping that I will be able to read it soon. And the last book is a historical nonfiction about Peter the Great. And I'm super excited about reading this book. My husband got this book for me for Christmas, along with 2 other books about Russian czars. And I'm very excited about learning Russian history. I studied it a lot in school, but I feel like I forgot so much. I have so much like blank spaces in there that I want to fill them. And I think reading about Peter the Great is so important. But here, my fear is that I don't have the context. I don't have enough context. And this was something that was stopping me from learning more about Russian history for so long. I don't know where to start from. It feels like you should start from the very beginning, when there were like tribes, and go from there, because then you will know everything that's been happening. You will know the historical aspect, you will know the cultural aspect, you will understand why this was done rather than something else. I just feel like I don't know enough to jump straight into Peter the Great, and I don't know how much I need to read before starting this book. So I think I just need to get more courageous and just take the book and just start reading it. But again, I feel like I'm not gonna have enough context. I'm worried that I will need some of the Russian history previous to Peter the Great to understand Peter the Great. And these were all the books that I'm scared of reading. Please let me know if you have any books that you are scared of reading. I really hope I'm not alone in that. And thank you for watching this video and being with me. I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.